Okay. Hey, hi. So welcome. Let's get started now. So please feel free to share where you are, where you're dialing from, and what brings you here in the chat. I'm very excited to be with you. I'm Geraldine. I'm the founder of Go Master Coach, and I'm a master certified coach. And today I will share with you 5 secrets for a successful career shift. And I know that many of you are thinking about that. Should I change? When should I change? What should I do? What can I do? What's preventing me from changing? So we'll address those questions today, and you will leave this session with practical techniques and a shift of mindset to really find your next path, your next career chapter. All right. So welcome, and let's get started. So I'm going to share 5 coaching secrets to shift career. But first, I'd love to ask a question. How much of your potential do you use today? And that's a question I asked myself 10 years ago. When I landed in Singapore, I had a new job in Singapore. I was working for a financial broker, and I was not so happy with my job. It was a good job, but I was feeling a bit trapped and feeling a bit restricted in what I was doing. And I asked myself, how much potential am I using? And I'd love for you to share in the chat. What is it? What is the potential you're using today in your life, in your job, in your activity? Is it like 10%? Is it like 40%? Or maybe you're pretty fulfilled and you like what you do, and maybe it's closer to 80, 90%. So what is it for you? Try to reflect on this question. How much of your potential? So we have 80% for Gemma. How about you guys? 50, Catherine. So feel free to share. What is it? How much of your potential do you use today in your life, in your job? 70. Okay. 40% max. All right, we have 40, 70, 50. Not much as much I'd like. Yeah, you're not obliged to share. Just share what you think, and it's a very difficult question. Huh? It depends on many factors, right? 55, that's a precise number. Thank you, Penny. So I think it's a very important question to ask yourself, and I think we should step back more often and ask ourselves this question. How much of my potential do I use today? Is it enough? Can I do more? And this is where I was 10 years ago. I felt I could do much more. My potential, I was using 40% of my potential, more or less. And I was really frustrated because I knew I could do more. And on average, people answer 40%. And this is not much, right? And this is our mission at Go Master Coach, and this is my mission as well as a coach and as a founder of Go Master Coach, is to bring people from an average 40% to an average 80%. And today I'm going to share how you can do that. So this is where I was at 40, now I'm more at 80, 90%, depending on the days and the months. And I'm going to share how I shifted career and how I managed to unleash my potential and to really discover strengths and use them and develop them and be much more aligned and fulfilled. So I used to work in the finance industry in France, in Hong Kong, in London, and then in Singapore. So I spent the first part of my career in the finance industry. I've learned a lot. It was great until it was not great, not so great anymore, and I was not learning anymore. So I decided to do 2 things at that time when I was feeling a bit empty. I decided to do 2 things. I decided to hire a coach, a career coach, to help me think about my future. And I decided to to challenge myself physically and to register for a triathlon. So those two decisions totally changed my life, my career. And after some months, after a lot of training, after lots of coaching sessions, I realized that what I really wanted to do was to empower others to be more aligned emotionally, mentally, and physically. And I decided to become a certified coach, a professional coach, and a personal trainer to offer people the opportunity to perform and to be more aligned. I saw the impact of coaching on others, and I decided that I could do more. It was good, but I wanted to do more. So that's how I launched Go Master Coach in Singapore. So Go Master Coach is a ICF accredited coaching school, and it's also a platform with many tools to empower coaches to empower others, basically. And this year, I'm happy to share that I became a master certified coach, LinkedIn top voice, and now I'm scaling Go Master Coach. We have a cohort in the US, we have a cohort in France, and in Europe as well, on top of Singapore. So I managed to shift career and to find my way. And today I want to share about the proven systems that I've used, that I've discovered along the way. And this is what thanks to this career shift, I managed to empower more than 300 coaches to become certified. I trained more than 1,000 professionals in many different companies in Asia, but also in Europe. And I've coached more than 50 leaders to perform better. And we have amazing reviews. We have people like Ted, Nina, or Nikki, who are now coaches, either as a full-time job or as part of their current job. Like Nikki, she's an HR practitioner. Ted, he has launched his digital marketing agency. So today, when you want to shift career, when you want to change your career, so you can take a coaching program, you can follow a coaching program. What you can also do is you can do a business MBA, but it takes a lot of time and it's very expensive. You can read a lot of self-help books. It's great, but it's very theoretical. Or you can just decide to try and you will see. But it takes a lot of time and energy and you'll never know about the result. So that's why today I want to share how with a coaching program, you can really find your path and your next chapter. And today we're not going to talk about planning, goals, KPIs. Today is not about that. Today, we're going to talk about mindset. And this is really, really, really important to make a career shift. It's very scary. So the first and most important thing to focus on is not about having a very clear plan, not about having super clear goals. If you don't change your mindset, you can have the best plan. It will never happen. So feel free to share your questions, comment in the chat. Again, this is what we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about your fears, your strengths, Ikigai, your North Star, and you will visualize your future self. So those are the 5 coaching secrets I'm going to share, and we will do activities. So I want you to really set your intentions today and to be fully present. If you want to get the most out of this time together, you have to be fully present and fully engaged. So how much of your potential do you use today? Some of you answered 40, 50, 80%. I want you to think about what if you were at 100%? What would your life look like if you were at 100%? And I want you to take a pen and a paper, and I want you to take some minutes to really write on your paper, what would my life look like if I would at 100%, if at my full potential? What is my dream life? What would I do? Who would I be? What would be my daily activities? So take your pen and your paper and just take 2 minutes to write down everything that comes to your mind, no filter. What if you don't have any constraints? Time of money, you operate at 100% of your potential. What would you do in your life? And please try to really dream big, huh? No filters. Try to write down what you would do. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do that. It's very important that you write it down. It's part of the process to find the words. So just imagine you're at 100%. Imagine you do your dream job, you have your dream career. What is it? What are you doing? Where are you? Think about your daily life. And again, just get rid of all the constraints. I know you guys are, oh yeah, but no, just forget the but, just think about your dream life now. Okay. Oh, I don't see you anymore. All right, just 1 more minute to write as many things as possible. You have no constraints, no time, no money issue. You operate at 100% of your potential, whatever it is. Just think about what you would do. Now I want to ask you another question. What is preventing you from reaching this 100%? Or what is preventing you from living this dream life? And again, I want you to write down whatever comes to your mind. Anything, no filters, please. What is preventing you? And I want you to share in the chat as well. What do you think is preventing you from reaching your full potential today? Why are you at 40%? And how come you cannot reach this 80%, 90%, even 50%? What is preventing you from doing that? Okay. Just share in the chat. What is preventing you? Beliefs, thoughts. Yeah. Okay. What else? Share in the chat. What is preventing you? Confidence for Claire. Okay. Very often when we ask this question, the first answers, the first thing that come to our mind is, well, my job, my boss, my environment. And then you realize, okay, actually, that's not really that. Money, yeah, why? That's the first things that come. And then when you think deeper and deeper, you realize that there's only one thing that is preventing you. And this one thing is just your saboteur, this negative self-talk, the voice of the fear, the gremlins in your head that is saying mean things about you, right? At the end, it's just this negative self-talk that is preventing you from improving, unleashing your potential. So now I want you to think about, okay, one thing. I want you to think about the stories you tell yourself in childhood. And I want you to write down the stories that you tell yourself since childhood. Those negative stories that are in your head, that have been here forever. Just write them down for yourself. What are the negative stories that you tell yourself since childhood? Just write 1, 2, or 3 stories. For me, it was, oh, I'm not smart enough. Oh, I need to be good at this, this, and this. Need to be good at everything, basically. Or I'm too shy. I will never be able to speak up and to share my ideas. So those were the stories that I'm telling myself, still a bit, since childhood. What are yours? Just write them down, and I want you to maybe just circle one that is really, really strong and very present. And what we're going to do a visualization exercise. So what I want you to do is to think about this story, this belief, this fear that you tell yourself since childhood. And what I want you to do is to take a deep breath and close your eyes, and we're going to do a short visualization exercise. I want you to think very strongly about this limiting belief, this story that you tell yourself since childhood. And I want you to think about yourself in 1 month. And you still have this voice in your head telling you mean things about you, sharing just this negative self-talk. And I want you to see yourself in 1 month and to think, okay, what are you doing in 1 month? You still have this belief in your head. What's happening? What are the things that you are doing? What are the things that you are not doing because of this self-talk? How is your life in 1 month? Try to really see yourself, see how you feel about that. And I want you to see yourself maybe now in 1 year. So we are in September 2025. You still have this strong limiting belief. And I want you to see yourself in 1 year time with this strong limiting belief. It's still very present. I want to see yourself. Where are you? What do you do? What are the things that you don't do because of this belief? What kind of job are you doing? Where do you live? What are your relationships with others? Try to really picture yourself in 1 year. And we're going to move in 10 years' time now. So 2034. You still have this limiting belief. It's very present. It impacts your confidence. I want to see yourself in 10 years' time. So what are the activities you do? How do you feel in 10 years? Where are you? How is your career? Try to see yourself, picture yourself in 10 years' time, and you still have this limiting belief that is very present. And what I want you to do now, we are in 2035 or 34, sorry. And I want you to, this future self, to give an advice to your younger self, the one in 2024. So what would be the tip? What would be the advice you would give your younger self 10 years after? Just think about this advice. And I want you to take a deep breath and come back with us. And take a pen and write down this advice to yourself. Just write it down now on your paper. It's a very important advice. Write it down, just what would your future self tell your present self now. Write it down, and for some of you who are okay with that, I would love to know what is this tip, what is advice that you share with yourself. And if you can use the chat and share it, I think it's always very inspiring. And for me, it was, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough. And then I realized, no, that's not correct. I'm capable. I can do more. I just need to dare more. And that was a tip for myself. Just dare more, try, and you will see, you will learn, and you will grow. Thank you for sharing. Dream big, be bold, just do it. All right. Ask for guidance, listen, breath. Okay, amazing. Move toward your vision. Thank you for sharing. So this is, it's a bit emotional. It's not always easy to do this visualization. Why are we doing this visualization? This is a coaching technique. The objective of this visualization, there's one key objective, is to create a sense of urgency. I want you to think, I need to act now. I need to be bold now, not tomorrow, just today. So that's why we do this activity, because if you think about tomorrow, 1 week, that's okay, my life is not so bad. But if you project yourself, if you visualize yourself in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, you will see the impact of not doing anything. So we did this activity to create a sense of urgency and to motivate you to act now and to take more risks. Now, what I want you to do is, as I just shared, is, okay, think about this limiting belief. And can you change it, replace it with a positive self-talk? So let me give you some examples. For me, it was, I can't do this, I'm going to fail. And I was so afraid of failure, so that I was totally paralyzed until I realized that actually I can try and I will learn. I might fail, but you know what? I'm sure I will learn something around that. So that was one of the, so please take a paper, take a pen and write down your positive replacement for your limiting belief. Another one that I really have was, people will judge me. They will judge me because I do this and this, and this was super strong for me. And I decided to replace with, people might judge me, but at least they will see me. And it's not perfect, and it's not going to be perfect. But if I don't speak up, if I don't share who I am, if I don't do what I really care about, the impact I want to have, I will be frustrated. So I will do that. People will see me, they might judge me, but at least I will be aligned with what I want to do. Another big one that I had is, wow, yes, I want to become a coach, but there's so many coaches and they are much better than me. That was huge when I started. And I decided to replace, actually, yes, they are better, but they are very inspiring. And I'm going to learn from them. I'm going to be inspired by those people, those role models. So instead of jealousy, I was more inspired, and I learned so much by observing successful coaches. Okay, so let's move to the second part. This was your first part. Face your fears. Just give them a name. Look at them. Visualize them. What are your fears, your limiting beliefs? And then reframe it. And I started with a powerful question. As coaches, we love powerful questions. The reason why is because a powerful question leaves you in a powerful place. And it's not so much about the answer. It's more about the thought process and all those ideas you start to have, and this energy that you have just with one question. Now, let's talk about confidence. So some of you mentioned that being an obstacle to you taking the leap, right? So we all want to be confident. That's something people would pay a lot of money to become confident. So today, I just want to share that you can forget about all the bullshit acts from online gurus, all those quotes like fake it until you make it. From my experience, and I've coached many people and I've trained many people, there's one thing, just one thing that will help you increase your confidence. Who can guess? Use the chat. One thing that you should work on to boost your confidence. Self-belief. How does it come? Yes. How do you improve yourself? There's many ways, but the most impactful mindset, yeah, doing, acting, okay, everything is right. But the one thing that we should work on, I believe, anyone? It will be easier for my transition. Okay. All right, let me share with you one thing that I want you to work on today. And I've worked a lot and it has helped me so much to shift career. Okay, I'm still hoping someone will put it here, but no, not. It's all of that. It's your strengths. And I'm surprised no one mentioned that. So if you want to boost your confidence, you have to focus on one thing first, and the rest will follow. So the one thing you want to focus on are the thing are your strengths. And that's surprising. No one mentions that because very often we don't really know what we're good at. So focus on your strengths. If you want to boost your confidence, that's the best way to just really, really boost you. But the question is, okay, great. But how do I do that? Unfortunately, for the first 35 years of my life, instead of focusing on my strengths, I have focused on my weaknesses. How can I mitigate that? How can I learn to be better at that? Just weakness, weakness, weakness. I need to be better. I need to fix that. And the day I realized I did a Gallup strengths training, it was really focusing on your strengths. The day I realized I should focus on my strengths. First, I should name them. I had no idea what were my strengths. And then I decided to focus on my strengths and just use them more, invest in them more, develop them more. And it was a real game changer. If you focus on your weakness, so imagine the first, it's you are the star. When you focus on your weaknesses, you just try to fix what you're not good at. And you work against what will make you shine brightest. When you focus on your strengths, so the edge are your strengths, you will shine because you will sharpen the points to your star. This is a path of least resistance to your genius. So let me first define strengths, and then we'll do an activity to find your strengths. What are strengths? The best definition I found is at the intersection of your gifts, your talents, your passion, what you love, and your skills, what you've developed. So I think it's the best definition of strengths. So this is your strengths. If I ask you, what are your strengths? It's not always easy to say. So I want you to do an activity now just to identify some of your strengths. I want you to pick one of your success. Anything, it can be a big success, a small success. And I want you to reverse engineer this success, meaning that pick a success. For me, it was when I was working for a financial broker, I managed to be promoted as a project manager on a big merger. So that was like, wow, that's cool. I've been promoted. And now the question is, okay, how did I manage to get this promotion? What were my strengths? What did I use? How come I managed to be promoted? So I tried to reflect and I realized, okay, oops, I'm very good at communicating with different stakeholders. I have good coaching skills with my team. I manage my team and I coach them, and I think they appreciate that. So I'm recognized for that. I'm a self-starter. I can just start anything new. That's okay. I'm pretty organized and I have good analytical skills. So just I reflected on my strengths at that time for this success. And I want you to do that. Pick one success. It can be a recent one or an old one. And try to think, what are the top 5 strengths that made this a success? How come I managed to succeed? So let's take 1 or 2 minutes to do that, to reverse engineer your success. Draw your star on your paper, just draw your star and just write your 5 top strengths. The one that you used in a recent success or in a very old success. Just write it down. On this activity, we rarely do it, actually. And I think we should do that anytime we are proud of something we achieve and just ask ourselves, how come I managed to get this or to succeed? So that's very important to be aware of our own strengths. And for those of you who are done with one achievement, you can do that for a second achievement or third. And if you do that, you will realize that most of the strengths are the same. Whether it's a personal achievement, a professional achievement, 10 years ago, 1 year ago, most of the strengths are coming back again and again. And those are your core strengths. I love this activity. And if you have a team, you can do that with your team. If you, as a parent, you can do that with your kids. Just do it. It's super impactful and it's a great way to have a meaningful conversation and to just, it's a great confidence boost. When I think about it, I'm like, wow, that's cool. I did this and I have those strengths. So just try to identify your strengths. There's many different ways. You can do a 360 feedback. You can ask 5 friends to share 5 of your strengths. There's many different ways, but this one is pretty powerful. So identify your strengths. This is just one activity. Because if you focus on your weaknesses, there's no way you will shine. Let's do a quick and fun activity. Take a pen and a paper again. Show me your hand. One hand, your hand with your pen. I want you guys, okay, let me stop that so that I can see some of you. I want you to write down superpower 3 times as fast as you can. 1, 2, 3. And when you're done, you just 1, 2, 3, go. Superpower, superpower, superpower. When you're done, you just raise your hand. Oh, Geraldine, you did it, right? Uda, second. Anne, third. Okay, cool. Now, show me your hand. Okay, now change. Change ends. Yes, yes, yes. You see, you know where I'm going. Okay, are you guys ready? We're gonna do the same thing. Just wait. Some people are super competitive here today. I see you. So 3, 2, 1, go. Superpower with your other hand. Write down 3 superpowers, and then when you're done, you just raise your hand. Okay. I don't see. Okay, Gemma, well done. You're the first. So what is this about? So I'm right-handed, okay? So this is my strength. This is my weakness. I can work a lot on improving my weakness. You know, my left hand writing will be just a bit okay-ish, mediocre at best, right? And I can invest a lot of time and efforts. It's never going to be very nice and beautiful. On the other hand, if I just spend a lot of time working on my right hand, working on having a very, very nice script, I'm going to have a very nice script. So this is the same with strengths and weaknesses. If you invest time, effort, resources on your strengths, you will be able to shine. If you do the same with the weaknesses, you have to mitigate them, of course. But you will never shine by investing only on your weaknesses or mainly on your weaknesses. So that's just a fun activity to make sure that you remember the impact and the importance of focusing on our strengths. At Go Master Coach, we use a lot of analogies, we use a lot of games to make the concepts very clear and memorable, most importantly. So that's your strengths. Now that you see those 3 circles, can you recognize something? Anyone? Share it in the chat. What do you recognize? Oh, does it look familiar? Yes, Ikigai. Exactly. So what is the message here? If you just add, okay, let me skip this one. Okay, your love, that's your passions, your gifts, it's what you're good at, what you can be paid, it's your skills, it's what you've developed, right, over time. And if you just add, what the world needs, you will get your Ikigai. So what the point here, what I'm making is that one day I was preparing the slide and I had like this realization, actually, strengths are right in the middle. So what does it mean? If I want to find my Ikigai, I need to first focus on my strengths. This is where I use my strengths. This is in the middle. So if you do enough work to really understand what your strengths are, how you can develop them, it will help you find your Ikigai in the center. So that's a very important work that we all need to do. Now, the big question is, okay, great, but how do I figure out what the world needs? Okay, and that's a big question. And when we say what the world needs, it's where are you going to have some impact? What is your next career chapter? Where can you bring value? What's needed in this world today? So how do you do that? Oops. So when I coach people to transition and what I did myself, first I thought about it. Okay, what can I do? And I thought a lot about it. I read books. So it was really in my head. It was good, but certainly not enough. So I decided to hire a coach. I verbalized, I communicated, I talked to mentors, I talked to my network. So that was a second layer of Ikigai search, communicates. But that was not good enough. So what I did next is I decided I had identified 3 potential Ikigai areas, I would say. One was coaching, one was related to sport, one was related to art, and one was related to business and entrepreneurship. So what I decided to do is really to act, to attend workshops, to get some certifications, to talk to entrepreneurs. So it's really thinking about it, communicating about it, and just doing it. And this is a missing part most of the time. People say, oh, I'm not happy, I don't know what to do. But if you don't act on it, if you don't do, if you don't explore, nothing's going to happen, right? And this is just a reminder, just to act, to connect. If you want to go to launch your startup, just meet startup founders, spend 1 week with them, just find ways to experience it. All right, so to find your Ikigai, you don't need to have a clear destination. Let's forget about that. You need to have directions. Okay, it's not about the destination, it's more about the direction. And for me, it became more clearer and clearer that I wanted to empower others using coaching. And that's my mission. And I pivoted 2-3 times. First, I was a coach and a personal trainer, and I created a coaching school, and now a platform and an AI as well. The destination has changed a little bit, but the direction is still the same. And we need to stop thinking that we need to have a perfect map to take the leap. It's never going to happen. Yet we do need a direction. And I love this visual from Liz Fosslien. So how do we get this direction? So reflecting on your strengths in one thing, and then we're going to move to our next topic, finding your North Star. Okay, So how do you find your North Star, this direction? Let's do an activity. I want you guys to reflect and list, take your pen, your paper, list 3 persons that you admire. So just do not overthink it. Just pick the names that pops up in your mind. It can be a famous person. It can be someone from your family. It can be anyone you admire. Just write the names, 3 names. Okay. Again, do not overthink it. It can be your brother. It can be Michelle Obama. It can be Lee Kuan Yew for those of you in Singapore. It can be anyone, dead or alive, it doesn't matter. So pick those 3 persons. And once you have those 3 persons, I want you to list the reasons why you admire them. And just write down the attributes of the people you admire. So why do you admire them? What are their attributes? So one for me was my one is my grandma, and because she's very positive, she has a very positive mindset, because she's very caring, and also because she's very driven, very determined. So that's one, for example. How about you? Just try to see what are the key attributes. Another one for me is an entrepreneur and someone who has a lot of impact and is very, very driven as well. And is someone very adventurous. So that's another one. How about you? Just try to think and reflect. What are the people you admire? Why are you admiring them? And once you're done with this activity, I want you to look at your paper and see, is there any similarities? Or what are the key attributes, the one that really resonate with you, that are really important for you? And actually, those attributes are your values, your core values. Sometimes those attributes are some that we already have. Sometimes some attributes are some that we want. We are working on to get them. So of course, they can take different shapes and forms, but they are all related to your values. And for me, for instance, my core values are really about impact. Everything I do is really, I really want to have an impact. Freedom is a very important value for me. I admire people who are able to create freedom for themselves. Inspiration, I want to be inspired, to learn and to inspire as well. Adventure is one of my values as well, and sharing. So those values are very important for you. This is again your direction. It's not about the destination, it's more about your compass, right? It's the DNA of your decision-making process. So when you're looking to change career, very often you are in the fog. You don't know where to go. So reflecting on your strengths and your values will help you clarify the direction again, and it will help you cut through the noise. If you're like me, want impact, freedom, inspiration, adventure, maybe the corporate world is not for you. It's not aligned with your values. So that was clear to me. So I'm like, okay, I'm done with that. I want to launch my own business. And I want you to really, I think this was huge for me as well, because, you think you need to have a clear roadmap. You think you need to know exactly what to do. But actually, it's not what should I do now? It's more, who should I become? And I think it helped me a lot. Who should I become? Who do I really want to become? Is it this professional Geraldine following all the rules, being a good soldier, getting a good bonus, always, you know, is it the Geraldine I really want to be in 10 years, in 20 years? Doing good, having a good salary. And so it was a big no. It's more about, okay, who should I become? And it will help you clarify your path as well. And again, no one knows their destiny. And just, it's not going to happen this way. But if you just clarify your strengths, your values, and who you want to become, it will help you find your path much more easily. Does it resonate? I'm talking a lot. It's not easy when you cannot really. So let me know whatever you think. If you agree, you disagree, feel free to use the chat. So what we discussed about your fears. So most importantly, it's about the mindset. So to change your mindset, you need to face your fears, your limiting beliefs. What are they? What are the fears? How can I overcome them? So that's the first topic we discussed. Then we talked about your strengths. And you're finding your strengths, not only finding them, but owning them. And I have coached so many high achievers that felt like imposters. They knew they were strong, they were smart, but they were not able to internalize that. So it's really about naming and owning your strengths and investing in them. It will help you discover your ikigai, or at least identify some path toward your ikigai. And it's clarifying your values will help you have a clear North Star, clear direction to find your destination. Now, let's look about one last activity that we're going to do today. It's to visualize your ideal self. So we visualize ourselves as if we don't really change, with no change, status quo, we stay the same, we don't focus on our weakness, we don't focus on our fears. Now we're going to focus on your ideal self. And I want you to take a deep breath. Now, take a deep breath. I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to visualize yourself in 1 year. I want you to see yourself operating at your best. You're confident. You use your full potential. I want you to see yourself confident, doing what you love to do in 1 year time. You align with your core values, the one that you've just wrote down on your paper. You use your strengths. And I want you to really try to see yourself. It's like a movie. Create a movie of your life in your head. Try to see yourself confident, using your strengths, align with your values, and try to see, what are you doing? Where are you? How are you behaving? Who's around you? In 1 year time, you're very confident, you've overcome your limiting belief, you use your strengths, people recognize you for your strengths, you're more aligned with your values. Can you see yourself operating confidently? Try to see where you are, what you're doing. Try to really picture yourself in 1 year. And try to see, how did you manage to get there? How did you manage to reach this potential? How did you manage to feel more confident, to operate from your strengths and not your weaknesses. Try to see the path to this ideal self. Maybe it's in 1 year, maybe it's in 2 years, maybe it's in 5 years. Try to see the path, the process. What are the steps? What are the obstacles as well? Maybe you have obstacles. How do you manage to overcome those obstacles? And you've reached your destination, you're really fulfilled. And I really want you to really anchor this feeling of fulfillment, of feeling aligned with what you do. And really remember this feeling. And let's imagine we're in 1 year time. I want you to give an advice to your younger self, the one in 2024. So just give you an advice and take a deep breath. And you can open your eyes and write down the advice that you gave yourself. And why are we doing visualization? It's not like it's based on neuroscience. When we visualize, and this is what athletes do, they visualize themselves. They visualize themselves succeeding, and they visualize a path as well to reach this state. And when you visualize, you use the same part of your brain as when you do things. So it's like a mental rehearsal, and it creates confidence to reach this state. So it's really effective. I use visualization a lot, and I used it a lot when I was doing triathlon. I was always visualizing the path, the obstacles, how to reach that, the different states, and even when I was feeling exhausted, seeing myself exhausted and how I could overcome that. So it's really, really powerful to train yourself to visualize your ideal self. It will really help you be more confident about it. All right, so we are about to reach the end of this webinar. So we talked about your fears, your strengths, your ikigai, your North Star, and your visualization. It's really about mindset to be more confident and to get more clarity. There's no shortcuts. It takes time. And most importantly, it takes also energy and courage to take the first step. And what I want to do to close this, I want you to think about what is the very first step that you can take. What is the very first step that, you can take now that will help you reach this ideal self? So, and I would love you to share that in the chat, if you don't mind. What is the very first step that you can take to reach this ideal self? And please write it in the chat. And we're going to wrap it up. So what is the first step? Let me see. Values for Uda. Okay, what else? Keep in mind your values. What is the first step that you want to take today? Strengths. Okay, yes, that's a big one, huh? So it's just important. So, but this is not concrete enough. Thank you. Yes, it's becoming more concrete. Focusing on one of my strengths. What is it? What do you want to do? What is it that focus on my strength is not good enough? I want concrete step, a very small one. It doesn't have to be big. It's just like, what are you going to do? Maybe one of your strengths in communication. Maybe you want to do public speaking. You will join a workshop. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. It's about organizing. You can organize a webinar, a workshop. What is it? Just share some concrete steps. Change is hard, that's for sure. But stagnation is harder. So you have to pick your heart, right? And this is why we're here today all together, to pick your heart. Just find a small step that you can do to change your career. And I love this quote from Michelle Obama. She said, life is practice, and you have to start practicing who you want to be. If you wake up every single day and you practice who you want to be, this is who you will become. So she said that talking to our daughters and saying, you know, if you practice procrastination, then you will become someone who procrastinate. If you practice blaming others, you're gonna be someone who blame others for their life. If you practice facing your fears, then you will be someone who dare. So it's really about practice and small steps. It's about everyday habits that we need to change. And if you're ready to go further, this was just 1 hour together. I just wanted to give you a glimpse of what coaching can do and how it can help you change your mindset, feel more confident, and ultimately change your career. You're welcome to join our upcoming coaching training cohort. We will train you to become a coach. You will get the opportunity to be coached. You will be mentored. You will receive feedback, and you will earn a certification as well. So if you're ready to take the next step, feel free to connect with us, and we're happy to have a clarity call with you. If you want to know, how can I go deeper? How can I really work on my strengths? How can I overcome my fears? How can I just define my core values as well? Just call us, and I would be happy to have a chat with you. Thank you so much for staying, and thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'd love to know one key takeaway. If you have time, just share it in the chat. If there's one key takeaway, I would love to know what it is. One thing that you enjoy, that you think would be very helpful for you. It's always good to know what you're leaving the session for. Visualization, strengths. Okay. Courage. Okay. All right.